Yeah, this is a cheap version.
So will you tell us alternative oils that can be used?
Oils, well, I'm gonna tell you, the way soap works. You can use any kind of oil. Like if you want like a Castile type of soap, you can only use a soft oil like an olive oil, and it just takes longer to get hard. So you would have like a year before you would actually use the soap. But if you want to use your soap faster, my soap cure is in 4 weeks. So in a month, you would have to use harder soap. So my hard soap for this recipe is coconut oil. Y'all saw me scooping it out with a spoon. Anything you can scoop out with a spoon, you can consider it a hard soap or a butter. You call it butter. So you got your hard soaps, you got your soft soaps. And what I like to do is balance mine out. So nowadays I use like the 1/3 method. So 1/3 of it is a soft soap, 1/3 of it is a intermediate soap, intermediate hard oil, and then I use what's called butter. Your butters are that's like black people money, actually. Your butters. My favorite butter is shea butter. There's mango butter, cocoa butter, and things like that. And I love to use shea butter. As she told you, I'm a professor of African American diaspora arts. Black people, our people, Africans, basically, we got the monopoly on shea butter. You can only get it from.
Where do you know anybody know where shea butter come from? Ooh, I love this question. Devin, answer it.
West Africa, mainly gone.
But where did it come from? Out of a what?
How does it grow, Devin?
From a tree, from a nut.
From a tree.
Yeah.
You break the tree open and the butter is in there. That is shea butter.
Like black soap is basically nothing but shea butter and banana peels.
Yeah.
It's all
Yeah.
shea butter and banana
Shea butter. So like when you take in pecan syrup, you put a spout in there and the syrup come out of it. The tree. How strong is a tree? Strong, right? So if you eat what you're made of and you wear what you're made of and you're wearing shea butter come from the inside of a tree. The inside, you break the tree open and butter is in there. That's shea butter. From Ghana, West Africa, that is shea butter.
And so I kind of take pride in it. And it's one of those things that I kind of chuckle and smile on the inside every time I use something that I think that maybe one of my elders may have used as a commodity. Cocoa butter, we all have a tropical ancestor somewhere,
Right.
Coconut oil. Olive oil.
Same thing with the coconut, right?
Olive oil is probably mentioned more in the Bible than Jesus' name himself.
You're right.
So we have a long history with these oils. And that was basically how I started. Over the years, I developed the recipe to where I added more shea butter. The recipe now has shea butter in it. But the original one, it was called dope soap because it was based on this. Hemp seed oil, THC, CBD. It was a pain medication, basically. So that was the original dope soap, and that's what I'm gonna teach y'all how to make now. This is a luxury soap, but I could price this at about, to make a dozen bars of soap, I would say I spent $20. So
what would you sell dope soap for?
I sell dope soap. I still try to sell it for pay what you can, to tell the truth.
But how much do you spend? Yeah.
If I had to sell it, I sell it for $6 at the mall.
What do you normally buy soap at? What's the spot called over there in Cooper, y'all?
I was gonna say, a major company.
Yeah. When you're Bluff City, yes. Right.
I can only use in my world now Dove or Olay for my certain area.
Yeah.
Bluff City, I can use everywhere. So
Exactly.
That's what made me
Bluff City is a good soap, but it ain't a good fine.
It's not. I
That
co-sign
soap
that.
is good. And my soap is a hard soap. Like my soap, those bars right there. I'm really cheating myself out of money because people use a bar of soap for like almost a month. That's how long this lasts, and it's a full body soap. You can actually use it as a shampoo if you want to. It's mild enough.
That's what I do.
Baby. It's the full body soap. Sometimes I might change the color and package it as a yoni soap because it's more gentle than a yoni soap. So it can go from the rooter to the tutor, all of it.
And Tib, you were using it as well, right?
Yeah,
Yoni soaps. And Tiffany Clay is our resident doula. And thank you, and part of our garden council.
Yeah. But so the main ingredient, what makes soap, is this stuff right here. Sodium hydroxide. Yeah, y'all see that? So if y'all aren't familiar with sodium hydroxide, this is gonna be the most dangerous product in the whole thing. I actually should be wearing gloves. I always forget to wear gloves, but I want to teach y'all to do the right thing. Wear gloves, wear some protective goggles when you use this.
And what is sodium? Sodium is what? What is hydro? Water. And what was the last word?
Oxide.
Oxide. When water begins to oxide means it's breaking down. So that's where you get a chemical reaction. And that's what he's talking about right now.
Yeah, so this stuff right here, y'all probably ain't familiar with the movie Fight Club, but the movie Fight Club tells you all about it. When he was taking the soap out of the body fat from the lipo clinic. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
With Brad Pitt, Fight Club.
He was using that raw ingredient.
He was like sneaking in the back of the lipo clinic, and he was taking the bags of fat and making them into luxury soap.
But that's what our people did back in the day. They used the fat from the animal. Yeah.
But yeah, my hand's so rough. I do it every day. Like, but yeah, I don't want y'all to do it. Like, looking around the classroom, y'all got some pretty thin hands, I can tell you. This is a prettier class than I thought it would be.
It is. Are we cute? I know. We're some cuties.
But yeah, sodium hydroxide, the generic name for it is lime. You may have heard of lime. A lot of black people are kind of turn their back on lye because only natural nowadays and not get perms and things. Because we know what lye does. This stuff is strong stuff. This stuff is actually what drain out. Like think of that. Drain out. This wood, if you pour it down the drain, it'll unclog the drain. It'll eat the plastic. It'll chew up wood. It'll turn metal into rust. It's strong stuff. But and it's strong because what we have and what all of y'all know, because I'm the only dude in here, all of y'all are familiar with a pH and a pH balance. And so you want your pH, the most balanced pH you can have is 7. And 7 would be pure water with nothing in it. So that's what you're trying to get. Now y'all's tootie toots.
We could be a tootie toot. I know.
Y'all
Tootie toot. Okay.
Y'all tootie toots is around 8ish. Y'all are slightly acidic, and y'all are slightly acidic because what it does is it's designed to kill stuff and clean stuff. So if any foreign particle comes in there, that's y'all first line of defense. So the acidity of it is to kill it. It's the, and so when you have this lye is what you call a base. So on a pH scale, it's 14, which is the highest you can get. And of course, on the other end would be your stuff like your vinegars and things of that nature, the acids, which would be 0, 1, 2, up into 7. And so pH balance is when you're between 6 and 8. That's when your pH balance, if that makes sense to y'all. So That's what this is used for. It's basically used to create a reaction through changing the pHs. So when I add it to water, of course, if it's 14 and I add it to 7, that's gonna lower the pH down to somewhere between 7 and 14, depending on how concentrated the water is. And I could even go so far as to put apple cider vinegar, like a lot of yummy soaps have in it, which will make it slightly acidic. So that's gonna slide it down even more. The thing about your body though, your body is slightly acidic anyway. That's why you hear a lot of people talking about drinking alkaline water and things of that nature. Like she said, your skin absorbs whatever touches it in about 15 minutes. When you take a bath, your skin is gonna come out, ashy, whatever. Your skin, within about 15 minutes, it's gonna produce a layer of acid to protect anything that might try to get through it. And so when you're pHing, you're basically trying to replicate what nature is going to do. What a lot of soaps do, they don't try to replicate what nature is doing. They just try to get you clean.
Or smell good.
Yeah, and so those are detergents. And detergents will and they're not gonna add anything to you. But the oils in these are natural and they're so close to what your body already produces. Your body doesn't even fight against this stuff. Your body invites things. So you're basically opening up your body, you're telling your body, got some good stuff coming. Your body opens up, it takes in the oils, it pushes out the acid to protect it, and now you just got a vitamin. Every vitamin that comes in olive oil is now in your bloodstream. Every vitamin that comes in hemp oil is now in your bloodstream. Coconut oil is now in your bloodstream. I couldn't even grow a beard before I started using it. I couldn't. I had like a little no, for real. Like, I used to get these in the arm because they force you to shave in the arm, man. Like the commander would come through and he'd be like, "What are you shaving?" Like, and it's like you have to do it though. Like, I couldn't grow a beard at all. I didn't have facial hair until I was almost 30. And then it came in like real spotty. Everybody started growing beards, and women got into beards, and then I got back out on the dating scene. I tried to grow it for the first time, and it was just like, look here. Yeah, and so, now, and then when I grew it, I realized it's all gray. So, I've never had a black beard. But yeah, so it comes from adding the vitamins. Adding the vitamins basically makes it so I get up in the morning. I don't feel as sick as much. Really, a lot of people think I'm handsome. I'm just go ahead and say it.
Yeah.
I'm a pretty good looking dude, but I'm really an ugly duckling. Like, the story of the ugly duckling. I was an ugly ass kid through 35-year-old. I was ugly. So I'm actually getting prettier every day. But yeah, so this is a simple recipe. Y'all got note taking equipment? Okay.
All right. Let me get mine. So I'll put it in the chat. I'm recording it. That was delectable. Oh, wait till you taste the ones that's coming off it. They're called the Big 100s. You're gonna be like, oh. Tangela tastes it. She said this tastes like a strawberry. Yeah.
Not today. Usually every time I come to Seed to Market, I bring soap. It's been like kind of selling faster than it usually does.
But we will be having Seed to Market at the garden.
We will have Seed to Market, and I give y'all my information. Y'all can always catch the soap at Crown Tower, Wolf Chase Mall, downstairs, next to Dillard's.
Yeah.
That's and I will be at
Arc Wings.
I will be at Arc Wings. I'm doing yeah, any of y'all know Brittany Sessom? She's actually one of our council members. And
Yeah.
she's usually at these classes, but she runs a farmers market in South Memphis. I'm gonna be a regular there.
And that's gonna be on
The first one will be this weekend.
this
on
weekend,
Juneteenth,
Juneteenth.
and then it will be every Tuesday for the rest of the summer.
Yeah.
So you can catch me. On
There,
Tuesdays.
we will be having a market in Uptown on Fridays. We'll be at the Letterman Nature Center on Saturdays. So just keep following us. And
Yeah.
so Devin also makes hot sauce.
I make hot sauce. From the peppers.
From
we
the
had
peppers.
Another one of our council members, Ross Crawford, has the best starter plants. Like when you're asking, I got started late or whatever. Ross, Ross will give you a tomato plant. It's like 2 feet tall. already.
Yeah, already. Yeah, this is the time to get her stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
So-
it's big.
Yeah, and she has all the exotic peppers. So my hot sauce, I always say this, and I'm trying to teach all of my students to say this every time they walk into a room. So I'm gonna teach y'all to say this. I'm the baddest motherfucker in every room I walk in.
That's right.
And so my hot sauce is the best soap in every room.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
soap is the best soap. My art is the best art. I always say that it's not arrogance, it's hubris, because I know what I put in, and I know what God put in me. So leave here remembering you're the baddest motherfucker in every room.
Every-
So
Yes, and also, what are you gonna make out of these products you growing?
exactly. And really, that energy, I put it into every product. Like, so I won't label a product and sell it. I have so much soap that I have to throw away or rebatch just because
We need it.
just because when I make the soap, I'm like, yeah, this soap right here isn't the baddest shit.
Right.
Yeah.
You going with the
like,
best?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, come see. I'm telling you. Okay, so the biggest thing you'll need the most of is 24 ounces of coconut oil. Coconut oil is gonna be the hardest oil you use in this one.
We ain't got no
Yeah, I don't have no-
dry erase. Anybody with dry erase? No?
So
We'll make sure we get this recipe out. So if you register for the class, you got here, you found out about this, we will send this recipe out.
And if you don't have your information, make sure. So
Yeah, make sure your information is on that. Yeah.
I use a bunch of these mop buckets that I got from Dollar Tree. Y'all can use any bowl that's big enough to hold all of this oil except for metal. Don't ever use metal stuff when you're working with the lye. So just dump 24 ounces of the coconut oil in there. Then the next one is gonna be 8 ounces of your olive oil. And I just use a Pyrex and I measure 8 ounces, which is half.
So is this like baking where you need to get it right and you ain't in there like you cooking greens?
Kinda, you can be off a little bit because our ancestors.
Yeah, because you're dealing with chemistry.
Yeah, it kind of, but I'm gonna tell you, it won't totally ruin it if you are off a little bit. What it will do, it will create what's called super fats. If you don't have, because your lye has to be enough to what they call saponify all of the oil and turn it into soap. So if you got a little more oil than you should have, a lot of people desire that. They call it super fat, and what it does, it adds a little more moisture to your soap. Like y'all ever seen that soap that doesn't really kind of lather? It's kind of more slimy.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people desire that.
I do.
So yeah, so that's a super fatty soap. It's using less lye and more oil, so all of the oil isn't turning into soap. So that's what'll happen. It's not gonna
Because
ruin
we
your
do
soap.
be looking for like the lather and all that.
Yeah,
Even with our toothpaste, we want everything to
And-
foam
exactly.
up.
I want to see bubbles.
Yeah.
So this is a 16 ounce Pyrex. So this is you just fill this up halfway. That's 8 ounces. So you got your 8 ounces of olive oil. And then your most expensive oil, this is the only one that I can't find at Kroger. I have to go to a specialty store.
Like?
Whole Foods has it. You can get it from Amazon. I actually don't even order it.
That's hemp oil?
Yeah, this is hemp seed oil. Or you can, I ain't telling you to, but you can grow your own hemp. And
Yeah, but you
make
need
oil.
bud and seed because
Yeah.
the oil come from the seed, and unless you have an expressor, it's a lot of work.
Yeah,
And how much of it?
this is gonna be 4 ounces of this. So you got 24, then you go down to 8, and then you go down to 4. I remember this recipe because it's Kobe Bryant's numbers. 24 and 8, and then the last one is the 4.
So hemp oil is your cannabis, your male seeds. They do not have the psychoactive properties like the female.
Exactly. Yeah. Once again, the females.
Now we talking about the females
The female
again.
plants get
The male plant gives you seed.
you. So this is 4 ounces of
Hemp oil.
And I use a different Pyrex for this.
So also remember this, if you're using hemp oil and you work in a corporate job, you will not test positive.
That's
A lot
true.
of people
Yeah.
struggle with that. When they see hemp products, they be like, I gotta take a drug test. You will not test positive for THC using hemp products.
Because the buds, the female parts are what's
Not there, yeah,
creating the THC.
correct.
Now, okay, this is the dangerous part that I'm being reckless with.
You got your gloves on now. You see how the women came through?
So I use a different Pyrex for this, but this is 6 ounces. Yeah,
But do
6.
you suggest that to people who are doing this? Should they have 2 separate,
I actually would.
Okay.
With the lye, and I'm gonna give y'all another warning about lye. Never pour water into lye. Pour lye into water.
Yeah.
If that makes sense, because you want to control the amount of lye that you got going on.
Because we're now talking about that acidity.
So remember the order. Never pour water into lye. 1 drop of water going into lye is just gonna have smoke everywhere. You're gonna be breathing everything. You always want to pour the lye into the water. And for the classes, I always like to let y'all come and just feel how warm it is. So I'm gonna let y'all do that.
Okay.
All right.
With the lime?
Yeah, lye.
Once we mix it up.
So,
Y'all remember when Malcolm, when they put that perm on, and you be like, ooh, it's hot.
My great grandmother used to make lye soap, and she would bring it to Memphis, and my mama would make us use it until it was all gone. She washed clothes with it.
That's right.
She washed our hair with it.
And in the beginning, that's what we did. At our ancestors, we used lye. We washed our clothes, our hair, our bodies. We used lye because it was the only thing available. It was the cheapest ingredient
so
at the sundry.
this is 6 ounces of lye right here. They really don't have a 6 ounce line on the Pyrex, but 6 is halfway between 4 and 8. So the line is halfway between 4 and 8. That's gonna be your 6 ounces.
6 ounces of lye. Where can we
6
get
ounces of
lye?
Lye is one of those things. Food grade lye, you're just gonna have to go online and get it. But you can find what's not food grade lye. You just gotta decide if you're gonna eat it or not. It's the same stuff, really. But you can get non-food grade lye from a hardware store. Home Depot, Lowe's will have lye in their section where they keep the drain out. Just make sure it's 100% lye. It don't have any other stuff in it.
You can go to also in South Haven off of Goodman Road. It's called Wholesale Nutrition, and they sell it in bulk. And it's food grade.
This is food grade that you're using now.
Yeah, this is food grade right here. Yeah. And you're gonna have 13 ounces of water. And A lot of people are gonna tell you that you should, well, not a lot of people, y'all ever took another soap class before? A lot of people are gonna, well, a lot of soap people are gonna tell you that you should use distilled water. You can use distilled water, but once again, it's one of those things, our ancestors did not distill their water. So you can use spring water. I've even developed recipes where I use coconut water instead of drinking water altogether, or I use green tea or something like that. Just you don't want your water with stuff like that. This is distilled water. I want y'all to do stuff the right way and not my way. So
13 ounces of water.
13 ounces of water. So that's 13 ounces of water. Put the lid back on. And this is where the reaction comes. I'm just gonna start spooning. Yeah, it's 13 ounces in this jar.
Pouring a lot in the water.
Yeah, you're gonna pour the lye in the water. You're gonna start to see it kind of steam up and you're gonna see smoke come out of it. This is actually kind of like the coolest part because this is where I feel like I'm some kind of scientist
Chemist.
or whatever.
But you also, was that not the jar that you had your oil in?
It was.
So it's a little residue of the oil. So it's
Mhm.
not gonna affect the process?
It's not.
Okay.
You stir it.
Is there a reason you're using a wood spoon?
Yeah,
They-
so we're
I
not
use-
using metal.
We don't want to use a metal spoon. Like you can use a silicone. I prefer to use silicone spoons. But yeah, I'm using this because I was on the way and I knew I needed some kind of spoon, and so I had to stop and get a spoon. And I got these from Family Dollar. They were cheap too. They weren't even $2. They were
So
like,
what we're not using is metal.
don't use metal. And so I'm gonna stir it up like that. And if you let it sit for a while, it'll actually lose that milky color, and it'll be more of a clear color. But yeah, you can actually start.
Oh,
to
I
feel
see the
heat.
smoke. You see the smoke? I can see the smoke.
Yeah, I mean, like you can feel the heat.
Can they come up?
Yeah, y'all
Can
can
others come up if anybody's curious?
And what you see floating around is what Tonslow was talking about, where the oil residue that was in there, it's already starting to turn into soap.
Oh.
And so you gotta clean up now. You can really see the smoke. I got like my little heat gun, and right now it's at 205 degrees.
What? 205. Wow.
Now I feel like I need to eat them.
Okay, lady, here's my question. If you were to make the soap, what would be your preferred fragrance? What do you like?
Me, I prefer essential oils instead of fragrances.
Mhm.
And I prefer just natural oils instead of essential oils. So during the growing season like this, I just have an abundance of oils that I can make from the different herbs. Lavender is my favorite.
Mhm.
Tea tree is the one I sell the most of, but I don't really like the smell of it. And another one I sell a lot of is turmeric. Everybody loves turmeric, so.
Mhm. So let's talk about that too, really quickly. Plants are either a sedative or a stimulant. So rosemary, you just said, what was the other one? Turmeric?
Turmeric.
Turmeric only when mixed with oil or pepper becomes a stimulant.
Mhm.
Lavender is a sedative. So you know how like when you're using the sea salt baths and you add that relaxes you. something like tea tree is it stimulates you. So tea tree will stimulate hair growth. Rosemary will stimulate hair growth because it stimulates blood flow. When your blood is flowing, you got energy. Lavender will slow the blood down
I like
and
that.
make you
Did
relax.
everybody feel the jar?
Let me feel it.
So
I've
I
never
noticed
done
that
that.
you check
Oh,
the
that is
temperature of the
nice.
jar.
Uh-huh.
Wait for it to cool down some.
With this recipe, this is a simple recipe. This is one of my first recipes, so it was really basic. You don't have to wait for the temperature. When you get with more advanced recipes, the recipes I have now, I kind of have to have the oil and the lye water at the same temperature, and I try to keep them both around 100 when I mix them. And another thing you have to be mindful of is if you start using your different oils, your different fragrances, they'll actually cook out of the soap, so you won't smell them. You waste them.
Wasting them.
So you have to keep the temperature low enough to where you're not cooking.
What's that ideal temperature?
Every fragrance and every essential oil has what's called a flash point. A flash point is just like a cooking oil. It's that part. It's the heat that your essential oils will start to cook and burn away.
So like alcohol,
Yeah, like alcohol.
bourbon.
Exactly.
When you're cooking with bourbon.
Yeah, like like if you can't fry stuff, you can't fry chicken in olive oil.
Right.
It burns way too fast. The flash point is too low. So coconut oil has more of a higher flash point, and then we use peanut oils and soybean oils to fry chicken because they have higher flash points. So the fragrance oils and the essential oils and even your natural oils work the same way. If you put lavender actually is one of the stronger ones though. Lavender, tea tree, rosemary, them junks.
Yeah.
You can just throw them in. They gonna cook. Like they gonna do all right. But something like if you want your stuff to smell like oranges, you use the citrusy stuff like orange, lemon balm, lemongrass. Those they burn really low, so you're not gonna smell it. You just wasted your time. That's what you have to think about. Right now, we're not using any fragrances or anything, and this is a really simple recipe, so I don't have to really monitor what my stuff is. So,
but ideally, if you are going to be adding fragrances, you want to take your time. Over time, does this temperature go down?
Over time, it does go down. When you get to the advanced stages, you'll see people using ice instead of using water to get the temperature down faster. I kind of use that time to make my oils. Usually, what I do is I pour my lye, and I'll make my lye water first. And then I start going, like y'all saw me at the beginning of the class, spooning stuff into measuring the oils. Usually I go and I measure the oils, and I just kind of chill. And because like I said, I sit down and do everything. I don't rush to do nothing. So that's really what I try to do with everything, because the joy that I get from the garden and being here and things of that nature is I don't rush. I don't do anything that I don't want to do.
Here's my question, Devin. I see some soaps and they'll have like pieces of roses and leaves and what is that?
That stuff really just makes it pretty.
Okay.
Until it's broken down to an oil where it's the like.
But then I gotta wash the tub out.
Yeah, like and that's the thing. I'm wishy-washy on it because I'm like, I don't care about the aesthetic of the stuff, but a lot of people want a pretty soap. And so you'll see it with the lavender and the sprinkles on it. The lavender oil is where you're getting your benefits. Those buds, they ain't been broke down enough. So no kind of nutrients are coming out of those. And it looks like little ants with the lavender. It looks like you got bugs at the bottom. Roses, they pretty until you have to clean them up. When y'all be on Valentine's Day with the roses in the tub and stuff, it's pretty until you got to clean it up.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't like to use it, but at the same time, I do use it because that's what.
But what you're saying is, if we're using soap to administer medicine,
don't worry about all that.
But I'm saying when you're doing it in this way, you're looking at soap in a whole different way.
Yeah,
You're saying, I need the oil, I need the coconut oil, I
Exactly.
need the olive oil.
yeah,
I need to put it in my skin within 15 seconds.
yeah,
And now you're being more intentional about your
Mhm.
soap versus I just want to get clean.
yeah. If you just if you're being intentional about your soap, you just want the oils. But soap is also one of those things. Gift giving holidays are like my favorite time of the year. That's when I sell a lot of stuff. People like to give their mamas or whatever pretty soaps. My mama got bars of soap that she ain't used in 20 years because it's pretty. Like I get cussed out if I use the soap. Like my mom got whole rooms full of stuff that I'm not allowed to touch. Like crazy story. I think I told Camille or whatever. I was afraid to sit on my mama's couch for most of my life. Like
My mom had plastic on the couch.
I was grown the first time I sit on my mama's couch. I remember like I would come over and like I'm almost 6 feet tall, sitting on the floor.
Yeah.
Like in my mama's living room, and I brought a girlfriend over, and she sat on the couch before I said anything, and I almost had a baby. Like I was like, I was like, oh wow, you done sat on my mama's couch, and my mom was like, oh, company can sit on it. You just, I was like, for real,
You
like,
just can't.
because the chick was like looking at me like a big grown ass. She sitting on the couch, she sitting on the floor, like, what is this?
That's called respect.
But when I say my mama, like, you go in the bathroom, you can't touch the soap. Like she's got like soap that you can touch and then soap you can just look at. You can't dry your hands on the tile. Like she's got like this whole little shower curtain thing that she had one of her friends like sew together. And so she's like, don't touch my shower curtains, don't get no water on. Like, no, she got a bedroom, don't touch my pillowcases. I don't even know what a sham is. I just know I can't touch it. Yeah, she was telling me, like she uses all these words for stuff that I don't know. Like, I don't know what a corn board is. I just know I can't touch it. I don't know what a sham is. I just know I can't touch it. Like a boudoir, I'm not really sure what a boudoir is.
But the soap, but we need to use the soap, light the candles.
Anybody else want to touch it?
I want to touch this.
This junk's super hot now.
When you took the temperature from the
So over time, it's heating up, is what you're saying?
No, it's cooling off. I just didn't realize how hot it was. Like right now, it's at 185.
Wow. So then this is not the time to be putting in your little perfume.
Nah, if you were gonna use fragrances, you would want it to be closer to 100, and you would want the oil to be closer to 100. That's why I kind of do this first, because I want this to cool off. But at the same time, if I melt my coconut oil, it's gonna be around 100 degrees. So I want the coconut oil to actually be hotter, and I want this to be cooling off so that they meet each other at about 100 degrees.
Okay.
And as you can see, like all the soap residue,
You already
the oil
making it.
residue, it's already turning into
Yeah.
soap in there. And you pour it in here. And you can get one of these blenders. I used to have a stick wand. I like this better though.
That's old school.
Yeah, and I was real old school back in the day. I used to just have this junk just. You don't want to do that, trust me. Like it's a struggle. I was so glad I had kids. Like we be passing them around. Like, hey, your turn. Like, and what you're gonna do? You're gonna blend it up, and it's gonna become the consistency of pudding, cake mix, kinda. It's gonna be kind of like that. You basically just look for it. You can actually pour it in right now. You just want it to be blended real well. But what we're looking for is what's called trace. And that's when I usually pour mine in. You can pour it in right now, as I said, but I like to kind of have a little bit of viscosity to it so that it pours into here a little more creamier. And if you let it get even more creamier, that's when you start seeing the pretty sauce where they like kind of wave it around and do ripples and things of that nature. So that's kind of what I go for with these soaps because I sell so much of it. I try to make a uniform product, so I get more uniformity if I use it more liquidy because it'll smooth out in here, and every bar will look more alike.
And so these are called your what?
These would be molds, and these are just generic silicone molds. These I like to use these. You see a lot of people use the loaf mold, and then they slice off pieces like they would a loaf of bread, which are really cool because you can do a lot as far as the aesthetic of it. You can make a lot of designs and things of that nature. This right here, once again, if you're selling it, it just creates more uniformity. I know that each one of these spots is gonna give me 4 ounces of soap. So it's just a better way for me to be able to tell people this is 4 ounces of soap. Every 4-ounce bar has this, that in it. Because I know exactly how much is going in here.
And that helps you with what we call cost of goods sold. So when you're thinking about selling canned goods, like sauces or whatever, if you don't know the exact measurements of what you're doing, you really can't control the price. So you really don't even know how to price your stuff. A lot of times you just got a hobby. You're not making you're not making profit. When you're in here, you say this 4 ounces. I know it costs me this much for the hemp seed, this much for the water, this much for the lye, and you can really get down to like cost of goods sold me. How much did it cost me to make this product? If you can't triple that cost, you don't have a product. You just have a hobby. You must take that base cost times 3, and that is your retail price. But if you can't control that, like he said, if you just in there cutting a loaf, you really don't know if that's 4 ounces, 7 ounces, 8 ounces. So you really don't know what you're making, especially if you want to make this in a business. So here he knows out of this base cost, I get, what is this? How many each
That's
one?
6. 2 of them is a dozen.
Yeah.
And I usually get
18?
about 16 bars. Yeah, it's
16
18,
bars.
16.
So you're gonna say based on this, I get 16 bars. This how my base cost. You take your base cost times 3. That's your retail cost. Don't even think about wholesaling to nobody. You just retailing. And this how you make your money. All right.
So what I was telling y'all about this being dope soap, like it naturally, if you look at it, it's gonna be green.
Is it because of the hemp?
It's because of the hemp oil, and olive oil is slightly pigmented.
It's slightly green. Yeah.
So the soap is gonna come out an olive greenish color, and you can counteract that with putting. I don't use any synthetic dyes, any synthetic fragrances too much, especially synthetic dyes. So what I use is a powder called maca powder. It's a dust basically. A lot of your makeups have it in it. And so I can make it any color I want to. If I want it to be whiter, I can put white in here and it'll make it whiter than green. But I kind of went with the aesthetic of it being green because the concept was that it was a green product that is coming from a garden, and that green was associated with hemp and THC and things of that nature. And I was selling green soap.
Devin, are you pouring those molds tonight?
You want me to? No,
Will you?
I thought I would. No, I'm about to pour them right now.
So I don't know, let me ask Miss Angela.
Because she got a
Asked
storm.
Last time, once he pours them right, you can't move it, right, until it actually, it's what, 4 to 6 weeks before it actually settles and hardens.
Yeah.
Let me ask, make sure Miss Angela.
But another story about the soap I ain't allowed to tell y'all. The other reason it's called dope soap. I told my students about this the other day. I might be fired, y'all. I might not be that time. I'm playing. But it was called dope soap because back when I was younger, when I first decided I wanted to be an artist, I was in middle school. And so 13, 14 years old, I used to make t-shirts and things of that nature. So I was airbrush and screen print t-shirts. And all of my customers were basically drug dealers. All of my customers were like the dudes that sold weed in my neighborhood. And so I was selling these shirts or whatever, and one of my good friends came over, and he used to buy, 3-4 shirts a week from me. So we talking about he's spending like $100 a week buying shirts from me. And I'm like, where are you getting this money from? Like, dude, you just got so much money. And he was like, well, I sell dope. And so, and I was like, I need to be selling dope.
Dope.
Yeah. But here's the thing. So he's like, okay, I'm gonna put you on. I'm gonna have you go holler at my uncle or whatever, and he gonna get you right or something. Like, I don't really understand the schematics of selling dope, but apparently 16, 17 years old at this point is too old to be selling drugs for the first time. I didn't know this.
Oh, wow.
Like, so to be a drug dealer, you really want to be out of it by the time you get 18 because they change your whole criminal record. You get a new criminal record at 18. So
wow.
I'm like 16, 17, right? And this is my first time. Like, I'm like, man, I'm about to sell drugs. Like, and so I go and I holler at his uncle or whatever, and they know I'm green as hell. So his uncle is like, I guess he could like smell the greenness on it. Because I'm like, can I buy a dope? Because he's like, what you need? You need an eighth, you need a this, you need a that, and he's selling me rocks basically. He's selling me crack. He's like, you need an eighth. What do you need? And I'm like, I don't know, like. I was like, Cortez told me to bring you $100. You were gonna give me 100 pieces. I need 100 pieces. I need 100 pieces of crack. He said, well, like, and so I mean, he just read it all over my face. Like, dude, dumb as hell. I'm about to get all this money. This man sold me soap. He sold me little pieces of soap for $100. And so so I'm out on the block with Cortez, and like everybody clouded me because they like, yeah, because everybody clouded me because they like, bro, selling soap, and so that was like the last and the first time I was ever a drug dealer. Like, and I think that every time I'm making the soap because like I had a little Pyrex dishes and everything, and then I always think about like Boys in the Hood when they were like cooking the stuff up, and I was like, I was so dumb though. I was like, dude sold me $100 worth of soap. It wasn't even $100 worth of soap. It was like a wad like this big, like a bag about this big. With little pieces of soap in it. And I just knew I was gonna be rich by the end of the day. I was like, man, I'm about to ball out. Like, I'm about to, like, nah.
I'm glad you're not just
Right. Exactly. Like, the first person that would have bought my soap would have beat the brakes off me. I would have got the worst crackhead beating ever. But I think what it was, everybody knew I had soap but me. Like, I'm standing out there, and everybody like, Devin got soap. Like y'all gonna be blowing bubbles tonight. No, he didn't give me my money back. I was scared to even ask him for my money back. I was scared and embarrassed. I didn't even want to see his face and be like, yeah, you got me. Like, I didn't know that you gave me soap. So yeah. But yeah, so that's about the consistency I want it to be. And I'm knocking over this door.
Again, y'all, thank y'all. I know some of y'all have to leave, feel free. And, be sure to come out and join us tomorrow if you can, again, in the garden. And, we're just excited for learning new experiences, new things. We thank Devin
And how
for
long that's
teaching
gonna
us.
take to get hard?
It'll be hard overnight, but you can't use it. It'll burn you for about 4 weeks. It's gonna burn.
So,
It'll be solid in the morning.
so is it something you should do when you put it to be a certain
That's what I found.
I keep it.
area?
It should be in a dark room temperature area. Like really, you just want it to be somewhere where a lot of the heat won't escape, but at the same time, you want air to be able to circulate through. I like to keep mine in my laundry.
I was thinking that, but I was like, man, when you turn the dirty on,
Yeah, but that's actually good for it.
Okay.
Yeah, so like having it a little bit higher, like around, like the room get like 80, 90 degrees, that's okay. You don't want it to be like 100-degree room for 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Right.
But yeah, I keep it in the laundry room so that dryer or whatever can constantly keep it heat. And I know that it's gonna be ventilated and a little air is gonna come through. So I have like racks that I sit it on and I just let it cure on those racks.
And then you pack it once time is up, you package it.
Yeah, I pack. I'm sure you've seen the packages I put mine in. I put mine in those kinds of packages. A lot of people don't package theirs; they just sell the soap. Like Buff City, you just pick up a bar of soap. You could. I'm gonna tell you about peppermint though. It's okay for you to, but you gonna feel it.
Yeah.
You gonna feel it, like it's gonna be cold as all over. Coochie gonna be cold.
I tried it and I like the feel.
Oh, okay.
Cause you get a cooler sensation in life.
Like it turns cold. It does. You can get these from Michael's, and because you get them from the section where they have the baking products, because these molds are kind of multi-purpose. They use them to make candy bars and
So you don't have to spray them anymore.
not with silicone, you know. If you use something other than silicone, you'd have to oil your but with the silicone, it's just gonna pop right out.
What about this? What's going in there now?
All this, that's a bar soap that I wouldn't even sell. That's something that I would keep at home.
How would you know that? You just have to remember that once it's selling.
Yeah.
Once it's selling,
Yeah. Usually what I
Okay.
do, because that always comes out at the end.
Okay.
These first two, like I'm gonna sell these, right? I always sell like a dozen. I sell all of it by the dozen. These right here are gonna be my samples. I'm gonna give them to my friends. I'm gonna keep them in my own bag.
Now, Mr. Devin, you do classes?
I just did one.
I mean, outside
You do, babe.
of this.
I don't do soap making classes outside of this. I'll do a soap making class if you ask me to. I'll do whatever you ask me to do.
But I mean,
Oh, yeah. Does it normally teach class and everything else?
I'm an art teacher. I don't teach soap.
So that's
I
just
will-
our garden council. We get to pull on this special gift.
I'll teach you if you want me to teach you. But, yeah.
Yeah, I would love to.
Some more soap. You've been to both soap classes. What else you need to know?
I wanna play
You've been
around
using
with it,
some soap
but-
too, I can tell.
But
I ain't Stephen Glowing.
she-
I told her she was.
I wanna play around with it. I mean, if
Oh,
I
you
have
wanna try different
questions or-
recipes?
Yeah, I wanna.
Oh,
play
you-
with different stuff, and then like with shade.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna have to give you my number. Contact mom. You want me to
Are you
contact
at the
mom?
one at,
I ain't at none, baby. Like, I'm just.
Are you at where it started?
Oh, the Wu-Tang Mall, that's all. The Wu-Tang Mall. Yeah, I'm at the Wu-Tang Mall, next door to, Dillard's. Downstairs next door to Dillard's. It's called Crown Tower. Almost every day. Came from all day. Yeah, almost every day.
I don't ever go to the mall. What time?
The mall opens from 10 to 8 now, and on Sundays 12 to 5.
Then where can we get some soap?
You can get some soap
But I can buy some soap.
Saturday. You can get some soap Saturday. Oh, besides the mall. You got my info on. You gotta get in touch with me. Everybody, you gotta get in touch with me. Right now, I got lavender soap that's ready. All I got is lavender. And next week I'll have lavender and tea tree. Okay, so 901 623
901
623 623. I got your number.
I am. No, I got your lavender.
4592.
Wow, that's for you.
Yeah, Saturday I will have the lavender at the store. Yeah.
Also, you want me to
Yeah, I'm restocking right now.
So what do you do?
I sold out everything. Today I sold my last bar of soap actually. It sells. It sells. You know what? You want to borrow something tomorrow? I can borrow something.
No, you're fine.
I'll bring it in tomorrow. I'll bring it in tomorrow.
I can wait. I was just asking.
Yeah, but I tell you what, are you gonna come to the garden mall?
Is that the one tomorrow?
Yeah.
No, I didn't work.
It's called Bright.
Okay.
I was gonna try to come out.
Yeah. See, I would have it there Friday at the mall, but I'm gonna be at this tomorrow. So. You got my number. I'll give you all the other info so that you can be on the mailing list. If you want to get like a subscription, you'll get a bar mail to you every week or every 2 weeks or something like that.
Yeah, I do want to start out using it, and I want more mentorship.
They
I want
want
to
Gotcha.
money for
Yeah, so just talk to me. Send me a text now so I know who you are. Yeah, but man, keep in touch. I'll have to do whatever you want to do.
It's something I actually want to do.
YouTube moves kind of fast.
That's why I asked her, I said,
Yeah.
my name is Toya.
Okay, Toya.
If it needs you, I will be the boss. Okay, so you get the farmer park this Saturday.
I will not. That's when I'll be in my store at the mall. Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah, I won't be able to make it. I couldn't get it.
No, you're fine. I mean, you're close enough to me where I can sneak around the corner. Actually, I can go out to work.
Yeah, I'll make sure it's stocked up.
Devin, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Make sure I write that down. Thank you.
Because we thought about doing online or different things. Because if you bring us home, thankfully, I think Miss Amber, because I think our last center, but it's like they had to sit for like 4 weeks. And then like so literally talk about like cake bubbles or anything else, but it's just if you do it in that class, how you gonna train.
But here's what I learned through all of this.
You can
My
pop them
best
out,
friend,
like,
like,
they're hard in a day. You can't take a bath with them for 6 weeks. They'll be hard though.
So what I was saying, I kind of want to have you.
Because right now,
I mean, reach out to you, have some type of.
48 days.
Please, thank you,
Uh-huh.
You don't mind coming over to the house to pick me up?
Right away. Okay. But I was, do you do what you do?
Devin was
Yeah,
in
it's
there.
always pay what you can. I can sit in the
Devin,
tent.
where the table was.
They want some of them. Most of them, this table was back there against the wall. A lot of these tables cracked next door.
And they were they up.
The tables weren't up. Yeah, they were.
Now I'm just putting it back. Put it back.
Oh, no, somebody, I know somebody brought some of them in.
I was gonna say, they have this. It's a hard to do. You sure? No, oh, okay. What about the table? So the tables go in this room in the back corner.
Were they already put together?
They were, maybe we can.
But it's, I'm sorry, I'm talking. Is it outside? Top?
All right. And it should come on. But anyway, that's why we got to look at the head. Got it? I was about to say, you have to this table is not cooperating. It's bent. Okay. Don't do that to me. This table right here, yeah. Soap in the cabinet. I was gonna say, we put it in here. And then I go down.
Man, what kind of stuff you like to wear? What kind of